Give me your door code now. She said like she owned the building, chin lifted, clipboard tucked against her chest like a badge. A stranger on my threshold, tossing around phrases like mandatory audit and board authority, waiting for me to blink. I told her no, calm, steady, professional. She leaned in, smiled like a warning light, and snapped a photo of my door as if that alone made her threats real. By the time her heels started clicking down the hall, I already had my ring clip and a knot in my gut. I've seen scams and suits before, but this one came right to my front step. It all started on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. I was working from home, reviewing a suspicious auto claim. Being an insurance adjuster means one thing. You learn to smell fraud before it even knocks. That's when my Ring doorbell started going off like someone was leaning on it. Aggressive chime after chime. On the screen, a woman in her early 50s stood outside, clipboard in hand, posture tense. The kind of person who never hears the word no. Mr. Anderson, open this door immediately. HOA business. Her voice crackled through the intercom with all the authority of someone who'd never earned it. I opened the door cautiously. I'm Karen White, HOA board chair, she announced before I could speak. I need your door entry code for a mandatory security audit. Her tone wasn't a request. It was a demand. She stepped closer, invading my personal space. I'm not comfortable giving out my personal code, I said evenly. This isn't optional, she barked. Article 15, Section C. Are you refusing to comply with HOA directives? That's when the red flags started waving. I'd read every line of our bylaws when I moved in 6 months ago. There was no Article 15. Show me the rule, I said. I'd like to verify. Her face flushed with anger. Refusal noted. She snapped and took a photo of my door. You'll receive an invoice for this violation within 48 hours. Then she turned and marched away, heels striking the tile like gunshots. At 4:47 p.m., the email arrived. Subject line, Ocean View Condos HOA violation notice. Invoice amount, $500 reason. Refusal to provide mandatory security access code. Article 15C. Deadline, 48 hours. It looked professional, logo, formatting, legal language, everything. But the payment instructions? A PayPal address under HO Services LLC. No legitimate HOA uses PayPal. I laughed once, a short, disbelieving sound, and started doing what I do best, documenting. I screenshotted everything, saved the email as PDF, and began my fraud file. Then I searched the building directory, no Karen White. Next, I opened the bylaws again. They ended at Article 12. No Section C. No access code rule. When I Googled HOA door code requirements, 0 results came up. No law, no precedent. Karen wasn't enforcing policy. She was running a con. I headed down to the mailroom to check a hunch. And there it was. Identical envelopes in multiple mailboxes, same logo, same layout. Units 3B, 7A, 12C. Each one was a violation notice. This wasn't personal. It was systematic. Karen White was scamming multiple residents, using fake legal threats and HOA authority to extort money from anyone who seemed easy to intimidate. I called Coastal Properties, the real management company. The receptionist sounded puzzled. Sir, we don't have anyone named Karen White. The HOA board hasn't been active for over a year. Perfect setup for a scammer, a power vacuum. Next, I called Karen White herself, recording the call. This is Sam Anderson, I said. Your invoice is fraudulent. Mr. Anderson, she snapped, you violated clearly stated HOA policy. Show me Article 15C. I don't need to justify board authority to non-compliant residents. Then came the classic pressure tactic. Payment is due in 46 hours. Late fees will accrue daily. Legal fees will exceed $2,000. Every word screamed scam. I started knocking on doors. First stop, Mrs. Helen Thompson, Unit 3B, an elderly woman with trembling hands and fear in her eyes. Are you here about the HOA fee? She asked before I could introduce myself. She'd paid $500 last month for a landscaping violation. She said I'd be evicted if I didn't pay, Mrs. Thompson whispered. I documented everything. Her receipt, emails, screenshots. Next was Jennifer Wilson in 7A, a nurse and single mother. "That woman is a nightmare," she said, shifting her daughter on her hip. "She billed me $750 for noise violations when I was at work. When I disputed it, she threatened to call Child Protective Services." My stomach turned. For Mrs. Thompson, the fear was eviction. For Jennifer, it was losing her child. Each victim was chosen for a reason: vulnerability, fear, silence. By evening, I'd tallied at least $3,200 stolen in a single month. All payments went to the same PayPal account. Even the building supervisor, Robert Williams, admitted that Karen had offered him $500 a month to support her authority and ignore complaints. She'd built a miniature empire of fear, all based on fake authority and intimidation. My curiosity turned into obsession. How long had she been running this? Public records showed she'd lived in 3 other complexes in 2 years, each one plagued by HOA disputes that mysteriously ended when she moved out. Karen White wasn't new to this. She was a serial con artist, running a portable fake HOA racket city to city. But this time, she made one fatal mistake. She targeted an insurance fraud investigator. Wednesday morning, I woke up ready to file a report, but an email stopped me cold. Subject: formal complaint, hostile resident behavior. From James Harrison, Coastal Properties. Karen had beaten me to the punch, claiming I had threatened her during an official audit. A mandatory meeting was scheduled for 9 a.m. Failure to attend could result in lease termination. Even worse, the email said, "Ring doorbell footage from your unit was corrupted during system maintenance." My evidence gone, but I knew the truth. My own Ring cloud backup was safe. I had the footage she thought she'd erased. At 8:55 a.m., I entered the property office. James Harrison looked uneasy. "Mr. Anderson, these allegations are serious," he said, reading from a script. "James, she's lying. I have video proof," I insisted. "Unfortunately, that footage is corrupted," he replied. Then Karen entered. Gone was the aggressive woman from the hallway. She looked polished, calm, even sympathetic, every inch the concerned citizen. "Thank you for arranging this," she said sweetly. "Building safety is my only concern." She told her story flawlessly. "He became agitated," she said. "He raised his voice, stepped toward me, made me fear for my safety. Her performance was perfect, and James bought every word." Then came her solution. "If we can resolve this peacefully," Karen said, producing paperwork, "a $750 mediation fee and written compliance agreement should settle the matter without law enforcement." She had turned her own scam into a negotiated payout. Extortion disguised as resolution. I took a slow breath. "You're right, Ms. White," I said carefully. "We should resolve this peacefully. I have something that might help clarify everything." I reached into my folder and placed my tablet on the desk. With one tap, the Ring footage played, full color, full sound. Karen demanding my door code. Me staying calm. Her fabricating Article 15C. Her threats about legal action. Every word, every frame. James froze. His eyes darted from the screen to Karen. Her calm facade cracked like glass. This is unauthorized recording," she stammered. "Actually," I replied, "single-party consent. Perfectly legal." Then I opened another folder, the PayPal transactions, the identical invoices, the victim statements. By the time the video ended, James looked sick. Security escorted Karen White from the office. Her scam collapsed in less than 10 minutes once the evidence surfaced. Later that afternoon, police arrived. Multiple residents gave statements. The PayPal trail linked directly to her bank account. Thousands collected under false pretenses. Mrs. Thompson cried when I told her she'd get her money back. Jennifer Wilson hugged me, relief flooding her face. For me, it wasn't just justice, it was vindication. Every detail I'd documented mattered. Investigators later discovered Karen had been running her fake HOA operation for nearly 3 years, hopping between complexes, collecting quick cash, then disappearing before law enforcement could catch up. She exploited bureaucracy, used real letterheads, and preyed on fear. She even forged building management emails. But this time, the fraud file I built was airtight. When the district attorney reviewed the evidence, Karen White was charged with extortion, identity fraud, and impersonation of an officer. Looking back, what still chills me isn't the scam itself. It's how easily it could have worked. Most people would have paid. Out of fear, out of confusion. Karen didn't need power to control people, just confidence and the right paperwork. For me, it was another case closed. But for my neighbors, it was proof that even the calmest suburbs can hide predators behind polite smiles and fake titles. If you ever get a knock like that, someone demanding access, payment, or compliance, pause. Verify. Document. Authority without proof is nothing but a bluff. And sometimes, standing your ground is all it takes to bring the whole scam crashing.